MITRE saw its formative years here in Bedford, and we were very fortunate to be here in Bedford because in this local area we have such wonderful institutions like Harvard, MIT, and many, many other universities and businesses that support common missions. Today, that space continues to evolve, but the strength of the technology here in the Bay State, the strength of the institutions remains very, very strong. MITRE's missions have broadened well beyond the Air Force. We now serve all the services, the Joint Staff, the intelligence community. We operate FFRDCs for the FAA, the IRS, Veterans Affairs, the U.S. courts, and Department of Homeland Security. It's my view, it's my vision that we've invested in this facility so that we can, in fact, deliver the talent that exists here in the Bay State across all of those FFRDCs, draw from the talent where it resides and where it, in fact, will continue to be nourished. And we believe that Bedford remains to be a critical element and will continue to be a critical element across all the FFRDCs that we support.
Well, our new laboratory building here in Bedford is really a spectacular facility, and I think it really represents a departure from the way labs have always been thought of. Labs used to be things that you hid out of sight, out of mind. Basically, you could walk down the hall and not recognize that there was some really great activity going on. Also, people working in the individual laboratories didn't really see each other except maybe in the hall or in the cafeteria. We started to take a new approach based on some research and visiting other laboratories where they had a much more open floor plan, including novel additions like windows with natural light coming into the area, and the idea that multiple projects could perhaps share a very large space, each having their own area, but side by side with the ability to have spontaneous collaboration. So we've really started thinking of all of our laboratory facilities as really collaboration spaces where people can learn from what others are doing and basically gain an understanding of what is going on across the organization.
But it turns out that the operating costs of older buildings escalates as time goes on. More and more things go wrong. Ceiling starts to fail, leaks occur. So we're finding that we're spending more and more money on maintenance and renewing the capital requirements of the building. Part of having the open labs, rather than having separate individual labs, you have one large open area that's easily reconfigurable. And so that enables you to be more productive because you've got more space to work with in different sizes and configurations. But it was also a lot less expensive to build. You don't have to build the walls and the superstructure to support the walls and that you do have in the old E building.
So collaboration's always been important to the company, and in the late 90s, early 2000s, we had a group called the I-Team, which took a look at collaboration and what more we could do across the company. How could we enable it with IT? How could we enable it with spaces, space design for an improvement in the company? Because collaboration is what makes systems engineering work. It is a multidisciplinary effort. It requires a diversity of knowledge across the company and a diversity of ideas to understand the issues completely that you're working on and figuring out what are the most important issues that you're working on.
One of the best things I like about this building is it embodies the holistic system engineering that MITRE is all about. We really look at the big picture from the beginning to the end. So in this building, we can do the exploration of the art of the possible. We can do the what-if scenarios with the tools and techniques we have in this building. And then we can go off and actually rapidly prototype. We have a machine shop that can build the antennas. We can take those antennas, test them in an anechoic chamber. Very sophisticated, very cool looking if you haven't seen it. We actually can build the radios. We have a screen room where we can do RF screening and do all the performance testing. We can put all those things together into a physical embodiment that can be deployed. We have high bays, we can put them in trucks, we can help satellite builds. We can do all this in one building. This end-to-end is a very powerful capability that we have. It's going to not only speed up what we deliver to our customer, but the interaction of each of those pieces is going to let us optimize very quickly in a very short time so we have the very best solutions.